You'll never go out on a train ride dig that deep.
Awesome. We won gold.
They're life rides.
Like, dude, I'm still figuring this out.
To lose sight of the fact that it's whoever goes faster.
This isn't a road race. This isn't a mountain bike race.
The sensei of sprint, Taj Jeffy.
My eyes are coming out of my head. Just get in here.
What's up, cycling fans? I hope you're ready for a killer 2019 in Western New York, because the racing is going to be unbelievable. We've got a great schedule for you. There's other great races that are going on in the area. There's so many good teams around here now. Really excited for our scene and for all the folks locally that are going to partake, and all the folks from outside the area that are going to come in and check it out. With that, I want to give you sort of an update on a few things we got going on. First, of course, we got Durty Bikes kicking off in April. It's not far away, so get signed up. It's going to be a really killer 3-race series. We got great courses. We've got great prizes. We got great pros coming into town. J-Pow's coming back. The GOAT, the man, the greatest ever. And Anthony Clark's coming back for all three this year, right off of the World Championships. I believe Austin will be his first race after Worlds. How cool is that? So get signed up and get ready for those parties, because they're going to be awesome. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Today I want to talk about our summer schedule and what we got going on with The Rock. Now, we put on this race for 6 years now. This will be our 6th year with the Crit, our 5th year with the Fondo, and every year we try to outdo ourselves, and I don't think this is going to be any different. We're up in our game again. So, new formats, new courses. Here's how it's going to work. If you know us, you know there's a couple things we care about. Great racing, great courses, pushing the envelope in different formats and not doing the same old thing that everybody else is doing. And we care about the party, and we care about people having a good time. It's amateur racing, and we want you to go out and crush yourselves racing, but we also want you to come back, have a drink, hang out with your friends, listen to some tunes, and enjoy the social end after the Sufferfest. And this year is going to capitalize on all of that. So here's how it's going to look. We're going to start on Saturday, July 27th. And this year, for the first time ever, we're going to start with the Fondo. And we're going to start with the Fondo in a new location at Deer Run Winery on Canisius Lake. So if you're a local, you've been around Canisius Lake, you know Deer Run, you know they put out great wine, and you know they put out great parties, and they have great events, and there couldn't be a better place to host our event than Deer Run. On top of the fact that they're cyclists, so that's even cooler. We got 5 new course options coming out of there. The first is a 19-mile route around Canisius Lake. Great little mellow ride on a road bike or on a hybrid bike. Cool route, great vision, or great scenery. Definitely one to check out. We also have 2 45-mile rides. One is all paved, rural roads, low traffic, one pretty good climb in there, and a really amazing view of Canisius Lake. One of my favorites, one of my favorite rides anywhere in Livingston County, one of my favorite sections. I can ride it from my back door, and every time I go by it, I love it. So I'm excited for people to get back up there. It's been part of the Fondo in the past, so you can check that one out there on the 45-mile paved route. You can also get in on a 45-mile mixed surface ride, as we're up in our gravel game in the summer as well. We're calling these mixed surface because they're not quite the same as our gravel in the spring, in part because it's just a different time of year and the mud isn't as sticky and as difficult, in part because the climbing is a little bit less in terms of comparison, and in part because we have things like rail trail, maybe a little more pavement than we would have in a gravel course in the spring. It's a great introduction to gravel if you're kind of like, yeah, what's this all about, and you want to come and see. It's a great gravel ride if you've been on them before and you're just looking for that distance, that sort of sweet spot of being out for a couple hours and hanging out with your friends on a supported course with rest stops just like all the other courses. But that's not where we're stopping. We got a 70-mile paved route And this is where we're going to get a little competitive edge into the Fondo for the first time. The 70-mile paved route is going to have 2 timed Fondo climbs. They're Strava climbs. So if you're not into the competition, you don't have to do anything. You just sign up, you do the ride, no big deal. You go out with everybody else, you come back with everybody else. No, nothing's different. If you want to compete, you join our Strava groups and you upload the full route by our cutoff time, and you can get into those Strava competitions where we'll have podiums and awards for different category breakdowns, which you can see in the reg pages for those 2 climbs, and they're killer. One of them is about a 10-mile climb that you have to climb for about 10 miles before you start the 10-mile climb. The other one is the legendary Vista Hill, which has always been part of our Rock Grand Fondo and is one of the most legendary climbs in Livingston County. It's a spirit breaker. I've seen a lot of people walk that climb, so we'll see who can come out and who can finish that on a really tough day. The cool thing about that type of competition is you're only timed on the climbs, nothing else. We give you an overall time, but there's no awards there. And in all the Fondos, you have to follow the rules of the road. There's no racing, there's no marshals, you follow the signs. So if you're going to do the time sections, you can take your team, you can ride sort of mellow, whatever you guys want to do, chat, hang out together. You can keep kind of your cohesive team together, and then you can go and hit those climbs and then come back together at the end of the Strava segments and do it again. So it's kind of a nice combination of social and competition together on a really beautiful ride. Those timed climbs will also be part of our best overall rider of the weekend competition, which I'll talk a little bit about in a minute. So kind of tuck that away, and we'll talk about Sunday, and I'll talk about how that competition is going to work in just a second. But first, I got to tell you about our other course, because we also have a new gravel course, and this is maybe the most exciting gravel course that we've ever put out. I had a lot of help on this one, so I can't take all the credit. But I got in touch with my buddies down in Dansville who race for Once Again, who have been riding these roads their whole lives, and said, let's put together the craziest gravel route that we can on the most out-of-the-way, off the beaten path sort of riding that you can come up with. Rail trail, seasonal use roads that people don't necessarily know that they're there or use them if you're not a local, and I think we really capture that with this route. So it's 90 miles, 7,000 feet, and it's just a monster. It's so cool. I found some new roads just with these guys that I hadn't seen before, and everything's within a fairly reasonable distance of my house. So you're definitely going to see new stuff on this course. You're definitely going to be challenged, so you're going to need to come with your A game because it's tough. We'll also have some time Strava segments on there, so if you want to compete a little bit, you can do that. If you don't, again, no big deal. Just don't upload the Strava segments. All the courses will have rest stops, and all of them will end with our party. So everything's going to roll out in the afternoon. We're not doing a morning start. We're going to do an afternoon start so that everybody's coming in at 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, which means you're hungry and ready for dinner, and we're going to have a great dinner there for you as part of your entry fee. And we're going to have live music. We're going to have Deer Run Winery there serving wine, serving some local craft brews. We're going to really turn it into a party and really stress that end of it as well, so that everybody can have a great time after going out and crushing themselves on any one of those rides, whether you're doing the 19-mile lake route, the 90-mile gravel course, or anything in between. That's just Saturday. Sunday, we go back to the greatest, coolest crit course out there. I really, hands down, as a promoter, as a racer, I really love this course. I raced it last year in one of the 2 days we put on. It's the only time I've ever raced a race I've put on. So I know how hard the course is. I know how technical the course is from that perspective. But from a promoter perspective, I also love a few other things about it. I love that it's, as far as crit racing goes, it's pretty safe. Crit racing is never completely safe. There's no guarantee you're not going to get hurt. That's racing. We all know that when we get out there and we enter one of these things. But there's no curbs. There's no telephone poles. There's no traffic. There's no dumpsters. There's no stop signs. Like, there's nothing to really amplify that danger that we get in most crit courses. If you touch wheels, if you overshoot a turn, you end up basically just riding off into the grass. You might take a little bit of damage on the tarmac, but for the most part, it's a really safe, really technical course, which is very hard to do. It's a hard combination to make both safe and technical in crit racing, and I think that we've done that as best as can be done. It's also a really cool spectator venue. If you were up there last year or the year before, you know you can see the entire race from the sidelines. You can sit right at the start finish in a lawn chair, and you can see the whole loop the whole time, making it a really fun venue to bring your friends and family and show them like why you spend all this time riding your bike that they never get to see, and in a course that's a lot more fun for them than to see you come by once every 2 minutes. Right? They get to actually see how the race evolves. They get to see the tactics, and they get to see the technical end of it, and really appreciate sort of, you know, the cool thing that you do that maybe not everybody thinks is cool because they don't really understand it. Right? We'll have beer vendors up there again. We'll have food vendors up there again. We'll have music up there again. We'll have announcing. We'll have games, just like we did last year, to make it a really fun spectator venue with really fast, technical, fun racing of all different categories. Now, that also brings me to the best overall rider competition. So in order to keep sort of a cohesive weekend scoring, where we're going to put money, trophies, jerseys, we're going to award the best overall rider of the weekend. And I can't think of any combination of racing better than climbing up Vista Hill and coming out to a technical crit course to prove that you're the best overall rider for the weekend. Those are two pretty different challenges. They're going to take a really special, well-rounded rider to be able to win. And because of the way we've changed the format, we're actually opening it up to more categories than we've ever done before. So you can take a look at our reg pages and see the masters categories, the women's categories, the regular breakdown of scoring out cat 3s, for instance. It's broken down really, really well. So everybody's got a chance to compete, but everybody's going to compete in a really unique format that's both social and fun and with lots of parties around it. I can't tell you how excited I am. So get signed up. You can see details on our website at ridelcc.com. You can check out the reg pages in the notes. Notice there's two different reg pages. One is for crit racing and Fondo racing and the overall competition. So if you're doing the hill climb and the crit, or if you're just doing the crit, or if you're just doing the 70-mile hill climb competition, you can register on one page. If you're just doing the Fondo, any Fondo course, you can register on the other page, although they're linked, so they're not too hard to find the difference, and you can find them all on our website. All right, that's all I got. I hope to see you in April to kick off 2019 because it's going to be killer, and I hope you're saving the dates for the 27th and 28th of July for the best cycling party of the summer. So until then, get on the trainers, get out in the cold, get those legs going. 2019's coming, and it's going to be awesome.